Hello everyone and welcome back to J1 Aviation. Day 20 already, and today we were talking about passenger medical emergencies. Or maybe it's not even a passenger emergency, right? Maybe it's just air sickness. Now this will happen at some point if you spend any amount of time flying with friends. So the scenario might start out like this. So you have a friend who's been wanting to go flying with you for a long time. They've never been in a little airplane. So it's tough to find a spot when you're both available as well as the plane being available. But you find a spot in the middle of the afternoon on a warm summer day. Ceiling is good, maybe it's a bit hazy, but it's your chance to go out and take the flight. So initially your friend is excited, right? They're talking as you bounce through the thermals on this warm afternoon, but then you notice they aren't saying that much. They're kind of just staring into space out the window, maybe sweating. And this is just one of many scenarios that could lead you to having an air sick passenger. So if your friend is sick, what do you do, right? So I think you want to mitigate the problem as best you can and reassure them that you're going to get them on the ground as soon as possible. So how can you help alleviate the problem? So you could distract them, potentially give them something to do, right? Maybe they can focus off on the horizon. Maybe you have cold water or Gatorade they can sip on. Fresh air always helps. If this is a summer day, any other vents you have, you can open to get some cooler air blowing in and maybe blowing even in on them. And then you want to assure them, that we'll get on the ground as soon as possible. But here's where you need to make some decision making, right? So let's say you are 20 minutes from being back at your home airport. Maybe the best decision is then to land at some airport that you are in the vicinity of. But if it's a true medical emergency, 10 or 15 minutes might make all the difference. Then by all means you want to get on the closer airport as opposed to opting for like some further destination, maybe even your home airport. And you might want to think about an airport which is most likely to have medical services if it's like a true medical emergency. So how can we help prevent our passengers from getting sick in the first place, right? So maybe it's a couple things. First, if someone hasn't flown in a general aviation aircraft before, you probably want to pick a nice calm day. Potentially go flying, early morning, late in the evening. The next thing I would say for something like air sickness, the sooner you find out, the better, right? So the trick is getting the passenger to admit that they aren't feeling well. So you want to be open with your passengers, right? Even from the pre-flight briefing, state that, if any time they're starting to feel queasy, let you know as soon as possible, and then we'll return to the airport, right? No big deal. So hope you enjoyed day 20. Don't make your passenger sick. We'll talk to you tomorrow.